So crypto markets are pumping right now. Ethereum made a new all-time high. We were anticipating the Jerome Powell speech that was happening today. A lot of people anticipated that everything was already priced in based off of exactly Bitcoin sweeping specific lows. Other analysts and traders are actually, anticipating Bitcoin still deviating, moving into September, even though we have confirmation of rate cuts and a few other different things, guys. But right now, markets are positive, and everyone is wondering what is happening next. Is altcoin season already starting, and pretty much what to be expecting for their altcoin bags. And that's what we're going to be talking about, guys. But if you're new to the channel, check out the rest of the content. Like how I said, I keep you updated on the day-to-day basis on the news events, the price action on Bitcoin and Ethereum, altcoins, and exactly what you need to be aware of so that you can position yourself correctly. Yesterday, we talked about the importance of the speech that was happening today and how we were going to see a lot of volatility, either in the upward momentum or downward momentum. But everyone was anticipating a push to the upside. But like I said, there's a few different mixed perspectives right now, which is what I want to walk you through so that you can have an understanding of all the angles in the market right now. So with all that being said, let's go and jump straight into the charts. So like how I said, the crypto markets are pumping right now. We are starting to see a little bit of a pullback. We are at the end of the day right now. It's 8:44 p.m. Central Standard Time. So it's the end of the day. A lot of people are in profit. People are starting to take profits. But will this continuation keep on happening? We're going to be jumping into that shortly. Ethereum, guys, seeing a little bit of a pullback after reaching that new all-time high, sitting at 47.56 right now. The total 3E chart, also all coins have been pumping. If we look at my portfolio, you can see on the 24-hour, a lot of these assets have been pumping quite significantly. But like how I said, people are in profit right now, so people are starting to sell their bags. And right now, Bitcoin dominance is starting to see a little bit of a recovery. We talked about this with Benjamin Cohen and how potentially we were going to be seeing a recovery for Bitcoin dominance moving into September. But right now, everyone is kind of shifting perspectives, and this is where I want to give you exactly that news and everything in between. Right now, like I said, Ethereum made that new all-time high, kind of a buy the rumor, sell the news event. This is kind of something I was anticipating as soon as we reach this. This is why it's really hard for us to break that 5,000 region right now. The moment we do that, though, altcoins are going to rally like crazy. Like how I said, big news events were happening this week, but the biggest thing that was going to be, going into play was Jerome Powell's speech that happened today. And they talked about exactly a few specific things. I want to have the summary right here for you. Shifting balance of risk may warrant adjusting policy. So pretty much moving into a different perspective as opposed to what they were doing before. 2, suggest downside risks to employment are rising, pretty much based off of the immigrant situation that we have and how a lot of the labor market was utilized within that specific area of people. 3, labor supply has softened in line with demand. 4, Fed abandoning flexible average inflation targeting framework. 5, can't take stable inflation expectations for granted. The Fed is prepping for a September rate cuts. So right now, Powell says higher tariffs have begun to push up inflation in some categories of goods, and they pretty much are maintaining their view that the Fed will point to the labor market in September. We're still calling for a 25 BPS cut. So this is kind of what has had a huge effect on the market, at least retail investors, and how retail pretty much responds to everything that takes place. Killer XBT has been pretty on point with exactly specific ranges with Bitcoin. We've been talking about this in previous videos whenever we're seeing the deviations. That's why you need to be keeping up with the channel, guys. But overall, he says people are surprised by this reaction from the lows, but it's not surprising at all. It's expected. We swept the monthly wick low, as he pointed out. Hopefully his analysis is helping everyone understand how to position for the high. So right here, this is where he thinks that he gave us a few different scenarios. I honestly think that we're still going to be seeing deviations for Bitcoin in the coming weeks. But at the end of the day, this is where everyone has mixed perspectives on currently what is taking place. He says right now that Bitcoin did not pump because of Powell, though. He said everything was already priced in. He says it pumped because we took out liquidations below the monthly wick low of trap shorts. He says he pointed this out, the sweep continuously for a week straight. He says market always follows liquidity, and this is another specific chart that we had recently discussed, and how right now, we were anticipating exactly if, the deviations were going to keep going or if we're going to be seeing a bounce, and it was just lining perfectly with the Fed meeting with Jerome Powell. He says news is irrelevant, it's all priced in. News fuels volatility, and retail believe it justifies direction, which is kind of what I was saying, guys. This is where smart money positions itself much faster than actual retail investors. And that's why a lot of people that have much more experience in the space are getting themselves in different spots, as well as huge whales. Overall, he says the direction is priced in. Insiders get the info first, create false narratives, and then stupid retail think headlines move the market. Oldest trick in the book, Bitcoin. So this is where I think it's still important to keep up with the news events. Of course, he thinks that retail is a bunch of dumbos. He would consider myself retail as well. Once you make big money, I'm sure you're playing in different pools. But this is where you need to have that understanding of exactly what moves the market and exactly both sides, not only smart money but also retail, because we need retail to actually get everything moving. Now, Dr. Profit has had the opposite opinion about the markets. He's been saying that he believes that Bitcoin is going to go below 100K in September, and this aligns with a lot of other perspectives from a few other analysts and traders based off of Bitcoin dominance rallying back in September, whenever we see rate cuts and a few other different things. But he goes on to talk about exactly how he doesn't believe it should be super bullish, and why he is bearish on the short term. He says, you haven't heard my reasons why I'm bearish. Timing, and this is in the short term, of course. Timing is key. I could have told you in the last Sunday report, but again, timing is key. Small hint: retail inflows, liquidity area, priced in events, well wallet, CME gap, retest of X, and more. And he goes on to talk about exactly how Ethereum is rallying. It hit its target, it hit the new all-time high, and he believes that we're going to keep on rallying, moving till September. And this is where he thinks more than likely a flip is going to take place, and if that does happen, we are going to see a change, guys, in the direction that altcoins are moving. He has already started to take a lot of profits off the table for Ethereum, and he goes on to tell everybody else that they should be taking profits because he believes that dumps are going to be happening. But overall, this is where I try to give you guys multiple different perspectives. Crypto Intelligence is talking about how incredible strong move. He talks about the sweep of the lows with Bitcoin, and ETH did not. He says all coins remain relatively stronger. So right now everything is still rallying really crazy. Everyone is anticipating more price action for Ethereum, but we need to just keep up with all this information moving forward and just see exactly how the markets are going to be feeling based off of updated news events, and also how retail is selling and buying. Now, Crypto Mitchell talks about the altcoin market capitalization. He says it's about to break the all-time high. That's the moment when altcoins go ballistic. The last real impulse in Q4 2023, alts went 10x. So right now, a lot of coins, guys, are setting up for something big, and this is why having a portfolio already allocated, like what a lot of us already have, is super, super important. Now, Benjamin Cohen has been talking about how more than likely Bitcoin dominance is going to be rallying back in September, moving into the Fed and the rate cut decisions, and how investors are going to be feeling. But one thing that he did talk about recently is how Ethereum has now officially put in that new all-time high in August, and how he wants to provide an update around Ethereum, and how he believes that we're going to be seeing some crazy price action. So this is where a lot of people have a lot of different perspectives. He says after Ethereum puts in new all-time highs, we will likely witness a massive rotation back into Bitcoin. This is what I'm talking about. This is what also Dr. Profit is talking about. However, the rotation back to Bitcoin, freaking fly, will likely be initiated by a Bitcoin correction in September, and will continue on a Bitcoin rally in October. So this is where, guys, it's gonna get really, really crazy. A lot of people have different perspectives. Benjamin Cohen, also alts are now down 53% against Ethereum since ETH went home in April of 2025. All ETH pairs will likely bounce after ETH puts in a new all-time high on its USD pair. So more likely alts are gonna be rallying, guys, but I think it's going to be good to take a little bit of profits off the table, like what Dr. Profit is talking about. But a lot of people are saying that just because he's saying all of this, he has a bearish take, but he's saying that this is in the short term, and this is why you got to position yourself correctly. The crypto markets are seeing a massive pump, but right now is the time to really consider, taking positions, dollar cost averaging, and looking at exactly what you want to, take profits on. I know a lot of people are waiting for the whole shebang. Even I'm waiting for the whole shebang, but there's multiple times in the cycle where you could have taken profits. That was in April of 2024. That was in November and December of 2024. That was in February, not even at the beginning of 2025. Everything was just horrible already, but there was like 2 or 3 times, guys, when you could have sold and made crazy gains and then just rotated back into your investments. And more than likely, I think it's going to happen one more time before the big shebang, and I'm going to be letting you guys know that. So that is currently what is taking place in the crypto markets. News events, guys, that have been having a huge effect on the market, which I've been keeping you updated on this throughout the whole week. People like Killa XBT, really great traders, analysts that have been here for multiple cycles that have a great understanding on price action, and they really give us an understanding on where the markets are moving and what to anticipate. People like Dr. Profit also, while everyone is getting super bullish, still give us the short-term, bearish perspective, because you want to make sure that you position yourself correctly. This is where people will say, I want to sell and make some gains, but I want to be able to rotate back, and not everyone can do that because you don't keep up with all this information. But if you do, then you can potentially sell at the right time and then pretty much rotate back into the markets when you need to. So that is the important information that you need to be aware of, guys, and that is what I think you should be doing if you have altcoins. Now, on this channel, I keep you updated with all the day-to-day events, price action on Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, how liquidity is shifting, and everything you need to be aware of. I like to go through crypto analysts and traders, price action, charts and perspectives, and then from there shuffle all of them in between and give you both takes, because I don't believe in just going on one side. I am super bullish on the markets, but you need to have an understanding of what everybody is saying. Not everybody in terms of people that don't know what they're talking about, but also people that have an opposite perspective, that have been here for a long time, that are also correct in the decisions that they make. So euphoria is a crazy thing, guys. Don't get caught up in it. I'm gonna keep you updated with all the day-to-day information on this channel. I am struggling with watch time right now, so make sure you guys share the channel with somebody. Watch the channel multiple times. Go check out my last few videos, guys. I really appreciate all of the support that you guys show me. I'm gonna keep dropping content. I'm gonna drop a few videos this weekend talking about exactly which altcoins you should be looking into, and then also what to anticipate moving into next week. So stay tuned. Do not capitulate your bags. Get ready. I might be taking some profits off the table, but I will be letting you guys know all that on this channel. Stay tuned. Peace.